This is what happens when you smoke a little Jimson weed.
This brilliant sequence starts with Roy Wheeler, the character played by Beau Bridges, smoking this special medicinal weed to have Dennis Quaid do that when he sings The Rose in episode 1. So we kind of know the vocabulary that these guys go in there, and once they smoke, something new happens. It's a square dance that looks like a scene from Marie Antoinette. So that was really the inspiration for all of us. So you've got this kind of weird mismatch of music and visual. And then what happens is when the native drums start to come in, it starts to get weirder, and then you realize that what's actually happening is we're mimicking the heartbeat of Roy Wheeler as he starts to go into this heart attack. I immediately started to wonder who could choreograph it. Fred read the script, came in, had an incredible vision and enthusiasm for how to realize what was on the page.
Basically, there's a big set of staircase, and then there's the big empty room where we're gonna shoot.
My whole feeling is that the dancing and the dancers are a metaphor for the blood and the heart and the pulse. So I wanted them to embody all of that.
Then we ran into a really interesting dilemma, which was about how to incorporate a lot of the square dance type of moves. They were really in conflict with the construction of the Marie Antoinette type of dresses, which have a lot of heavy wiring, and so you can't lift anybody or pivot anybody when they have these really hardly constructed dresses.
In rehearsal, you do all this great choreography, and then they put on the costumes, and it just looks like they're roller skating around the floor and drifting. And so from the get-go, I didn't know if they were gonna work.
I thought, oh my God, OMG, how are we gonna pull this off?
Some say love.
The scene I'm shooting with Dennis, he's singing The Rose to an auditorium, and in his hallucination, everybody in the audience is him, and then he looks up and it is me who plays his sister.
Seeing it from Wade's perspective is very interesting. What does he imagine himself in? Initially, we pull images of all of the nudie inspirations, 1970s Western wear. With the song The Rose, there's a very classic Conway Twitty version, and Conway Twitty would often pair with Loretta Lynn, and so that's where we got the inspiration for Diana's wear, and there's something very strangely bridal and innocent with this 70s country queen gown.
In the spring becomes the rose.
God, fantastic. Great job, everybody. Next thing, beautiful.
When we were thinking about all of the things that we needed to contend with in terms of what needed reinforcing and what was and was not working, and so we decided, what if we stripped it down to brass tacks and leaned into some of the more skeletal versions of these costumes.
Lindy came up with this beautiful idea of these collapsible wire frames that gave both a skeletal sense visually, but then also allowed the practicality of the choreography to happen.
The costume department, I don't know how they did it, but I have never seen that before, and it's so cool. It actually worked. You're gonna see these amazing dancers doing this incredible number in this great lobby foyer, and then this staircase that goes up and up and up. And Billy Bob is gonna be at the top, and he calls the square dance. It's gonna be stellar.
They're such pros, such great athletes. They're just amazing. And it's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been a while since I've done some dancing.
You know, when we're all jiving together, that's when something really pops and goes to the next level.
It was beyond anything I could imagine. That was after 2 months of preparing and designing, and in the midst of all this chaos and madness that we've had in our heads all this time, it's suddenly developing right in front of our eyes, and that's when we just came down, we just started sobbing. It was so beautiful.
The death of Wheeler is a really critical moment in the show and pivots our series. So it's both entertaining and an important piece of storytelling. It was pretty spectacular.